Tell us a little bit about your recruitment. I'm sure there was a lot of different teams interested in bringing you on their college organization. How did they recruit you? When they came in, how did they talk you into going to Stanford, besides the fact that it's one of the best academic schools in the country?
Well, they didn't really have to talk me into going to Stanford that much, just because, I study really hard. Academics are, huge for me and my family. So once they offered the scholarship, it didn't really take me long to decide that's where I wanted to go. But as far as my recruitment process, so as a kicker and a punter, it starts pretty late. So I think I got my first preferred walk-on offer back in March or April, whereas like people in my grade in other positions would be like getting recruited much earlier. And so then it started kind of build from there. This summer was supposed to be pretty important. We were going to have, all like the camps and stuff because, the coaches really want you at camp this summer going into your senior year because you make so much improvements from your junior year to that summer. So they want to see where you're at. So not having the camps this year hurt a little bit, no doubt. And so a lot of coaches were then, offering preferred walk-on opportunities just because they want to see you kick in person, and they couldn't. So I had a lot of those opportunities, but including Stanford, actually, they had offered me a preferred walk-on to start. And then I had a great relationship with special teams coordinator, Coach Alomar. I talked to him a lot. One day he called me up and he was like, "Hey, we're going to offer you a full scholarship." And there was a lot of yelling in my house.
I'm sure it was.
Yeah. So
I could only imagine what it cost to go to Stanford every semester. Probably around 50, 60,000, if I could guess. Maybe a little bit more than that.
Yeah, something around that. I'm honestly
crazy.
Not too sure, but.
So you being from the South. Go ahead. Sorry, were you saying something?
Go ahead. No.
All right.
No.
So you being from the South, you're from Atlanta. You actually got recruited by two schools a little closer, but not Georgia necessarily, but North Carolina State and Duke both recruited you in that essence. You also had two Pac-12 offers with Stanford, like you ended up going to. So what was specifically about Stanford? Was it David Shaw? Was it, like Errol was saying, was it academics? Is it something that maybe you plan on going forward?
Duke's a good academic school,
It is too. Right, no, I know that. I'm saying something specific with their academics, whatever he wants to do post-football, maybe if he does desire that. So what was the biggest decision with Stanford that caused you to pick it, despite it not being local?
Mm-hmm. So it's interesting. We actually have sent from my high school. We sent a kicker to Duke and a punter as a walk-on to Stanford. So I had connections to both of the schools. So I was talking to both guys about what the team was like and the school and all of that. But Stanford, what really stuck out to me was, well, the weather. You can't get any better weather to punt in than 70 degrees and sunny every day. So that was really, really appealing to me. And I mean, Duke has great weather as well. I mean, Southeast is great. But I think when it came down to it, you couldn't really pass up a scholarship to Stanford. Duke was a preferred walk-on opportunity. And so when the scholarship came to Stanford, I decided I just had to take it.
Yeah, you backstroked. That's what you did. I would be doing the same thing you'd be doing. Stanford offers me a scholarship. Okay, and where do I sign?
Yeah.
We are talking to Stanford punter recruit Connor Weselman. Now, Connor, David Shaw is very well known, not only in the NCAA, but in the NFL. A lot of people said 3-4 years ago, this guy was the next up-and-coming big-time head coach prospect where every team wanted to interview him. Over the last couple of years, people have taken a step back about David and said that maybe he fits the college game. He doesn't fit the NFL game. When you look at his game and the way he coaches and his personality, for what you know of him, do you see him as an NFL coach in the future, or do you see him staying with Stanford and just sticking to college football?
Let's see. I mean, so in my conversations with him, I definitely think that he's a great coach, especially just, being at Stanford. He can help balance the academics and the football because it is a very difficult school.
He went to Stanford, right?
So
he did. He went
sure,
to. I think he went to Stanford. Yes.
Mm-hmm. So I really like that about him as a college coach, just because that's really important. I mean, going to Stanford, but just being a student athlete in general, helping work practice around classes and tests and midterms and all that. I really like that. As far as being, a good college coach versus a good NFL coach, I couldn't really tell you. I'm not really.
It's all right. It's all right, man. It's all right.
Enough
it's all right.
about that.
It's all right. I'm trying to get some kind of information out of you, but that's okay. I'm not going to throw you under the bus, but I think David is. I still think he could be in the NFL. I think he could be a good NFL coach. Mm-hmm. A lot of people just like Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh went from one of the best NFL coaches to one of the worst NCAA college coaches in all of college football with the blink of an eye. This guy was
who previously coached Stanford.
Yeah, I mean, this is a guy that everybody loved and everybody thought he was the next big thing going to college football. He hasn't won anything.
And he still can't beat Ohio State.
Can't beat Ohio State, and this is a guy that's recruited some of the best recruits in the country for the last, 3-4 years, and he still can't get over the hump. So when you look at the game and the transition of what college football is to the NFL, you can see the difference. Maybe the NFL came a little bit easier to him than college football, and it's crazy to see him. It's crazy to say because the NFL, all these guys from college go to the NFL, and the game is a little bit faster. So I don't understand it. I really don't. But again, I think David Shore is. I think David Shore would be a better NFL coach, in the long run if he gets the opportunity. As you guys know, we are talking to Stanford punter recruit Connor Weselman.
So continuing with Shaw, he's one of the better coaches in college football, but also one of the most unique where he's more defensive and special teams minded, which is not normally something you see in the Pac-12. We had Chris Peterson with Washington, who just stepped away from Washington, who was a great defensive coach. And now you have Herm Edwards at Arizona State, whose defense was really good last year for much of the season. But again, it's mostly known as an offensive league in terms of the conference. So what do you think? Did that help make your decision that he would emphasize that more with Shaw, emphasize your game in special teams especially, and also the defensive players they've had? They've had some good ones and team defenses as well.
Definitely. I think that was a really big part. I definitely wanted a school that emphasized special teams a lot. And one of the things that I like is that Coach Alomar, the special teams coordinator, all he does is coach special teams. And Coach Shaw hired him for a reason. So, having him be able to coach me at all my practices, he's already Coach Alomar is already reviewing my film with me. Giving me some tips about how to help me in the upcoming season and just really helping me perfect my form before I even get there. So the fact that Coach Shaw knew to hire Coach Alomar and the emphasis on special teams is really big and one of the reasons why I'm really excited about playing at Stanford.
Connor, when you look at the punting position, I don't think people realize how important the position is. In the NFL, you saw the Jets in the 7th round draft the best punter in the draft. Some people say he has the best leg they've ever seen. When you look at the position now with some of you young guys, I've seen some of you guys kick it 80, 90, even 100 yards. It's unbelievable the leg the leg power you guys have. And you look at you guys are tall, lengthy, and skinny. And where does the power come from? And then I'm amazed because I watch it, and I've tried to punt a ball. I've tried it so many times. It's not as easy as it looks, okay? It's just not. And the way you guys get the height and the way you guys you guys know where the ball is going to land. It's pretty. Yeah. It's really incredible what you guys do. You think the quarterback position and the way they throw the ball and how accurate they are. Watch these kickers. They can kick the ball anywhere, and they know where it's going to fall if they kick it right. So I think it's incredible. When you look at the punting position, do you feel that a lot of people look at the punting position as just a fill-in position, or do you think that people are starting to realize that the punting position is as important, especially in professional football, on where you're going to situate yourself and where you're going to put yourself on the 10-yard line or the 20-yard line? It makes an importance of the game. Do you see that in the punting position as well as the quarterback position?
Definitely. I mean, I think it's definitely growing in terms of, how much people value it, because it is very difficult, and definitely just knowing where it's going to land when you're like pinning people deep and going directional, because that's a huge part of punting is where you can place the ball on the sideline. I think people now that punters are getting better and growing and starting from a younger age, they're starting to realize the importance of the position. They're starting to appreciate how much we work, and because a lot of kickers and punters have to earn the respect of their team, because they think, okay, yeah, you're over to the sideline, just kicking and doing drops and drill work and stretching. You don't really practice as hard as we do, and then that's where I have to go into the weight room and try to beat these guys out in weight, and I have to go out on the field.
Hold on. How much could you lift? Come on.
So yesterday I cleaned 220. Today I benched 235.
Wow. How much do you weigh?
I weigh about 195 right now.
Wow, you're a lot bigger than I thought. How tall are you?
I'm 6'3", 6'4".
Oh, you're tall. You're a tall guy.
Yes.
And all your power comes from your legs. I know that. I've met a lot of kickers before in person. A couple of Jets, couple of Giants. It's amazing how big your legs are. You look at them, you stand right next to them. They're tall, but they got no meat whatsoever on them. And then you look at them and then you look at their legs. I'm like, they're like tree trunks, and they can kick the ball. It's amazing. It really is. I'm amazed when I watch Drew Brees throw the ball, and he could throw it through these little nets and stuff like that. And then I watch a punter go on the field and tell you where the ball is going to land, on the 10, on the 9, where it's going to spin, where is it going to drop, how is it going to spin, blah, 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 blah. It's amazing. It really is. It's an art. It's an art form, and it takes years and years. It takes years and years to figure it out. I'll tell you this. I would be a terrible kicker. I would be a terrible quarterback. I was a good corner and a good wide receiver, somewhat, but not playing Division I NCAA. It's an amazing thing when you know that you're a walk-on, Connor, and you got a full scholarship from Stanford being a walk-on. That is an incredible story, and I think a lot of people don't understand. When somebody offers you a full scholarship to a collegiate school as big and as known as Stanford to play football when you weren't even scouted, you weren't even recruited, you were a walk-on. Mm-hmm. You were a walk-on. And that is a story by itself, and that's an amazing accomplishment. Even if you don't do anything else, if you don't play in the NFL, the fact that you're going to get a college education for free at Stanford, kicking for one of the best schools, the number 16th ranked recruiting class in the country, is pretty amazing, getting one of those scholarships.
Definitely. And like as I said before, the academics is a big part of it, and so like being able to like come out of Stanford come out of college with a Stanford degree is absolutely huge.